we look at the precision needed to pick the perfect line in freeride snowboarding.
Freeriding is a sport out in the wild, in the nature. I think the amount of mountains to ride is endless. I don't think all mountains of this planet will ever be ridden. My name is Flo Orley. I'm a pro freerider and I come from Innsbruck, Austria. Well, everybody knows snowboarding, surfing on frozen water, and as soon as you're leaving the marked and groomed terrain, then you're a freerider. A lot of times we get feedback, you guys are absolutely crazy. You just ride down mountains, jump 20-meter high cliffs without knowing where you're going. This is simply wrong. We prepare every single turn, every drop, every air we do, and then after we do, we turn this picture around in our head, so when you're at the top, you actually have to know where you're going. If you don't know your line by the time you're up here, you're not going to find it. But when you're really good at visualization and you know where to go, you can focus on the style, you can supersize jumps, you can go faster, so that's why it's so important. When I'm approaching a big cliff and I know my landing field 50 meters further down is only like 1 or 2 meters wide, precision is everything. I know if I'm jumping off at this angle, I'll land exactly where I need to, so you have to be very precise in order not to get hurt. When you're an extreme sportsman, fear itself becomes something like an instrument. When everything in the preparation has gone right, then you don't feel fear at the top. But when the fear factor gets bigger, then to me, I realize that something in the planning was wrong. Did I do my exit plans wrong in case of an avalanche, for example? This is where you're going to be dropping in, but you see the big wind lips behind me?
So if it pops on you, you can get out to the skiers right.
So fear is more of an instrument that plays an important role in the planning before you actually drop in. Within freeriding, you have endless opportunities. Venture out into the backcountry on your split board. You can do high alpine climbing with your ice axes and ropes just to reach one single couloir. So depending on what you do, you have to choose the right gear. Let's go right towards the safety stuff because I think that's the most important. The thing I live with is my avalanche backpack with a carbon fiber cartridge for lightweight. In case of an avalanche, I do have a trigger which I can pull. And if I pull the trigger, the compressed air from within this carbon fiber cartridge will inflate this bag, which gets to about this size within 2.5 seconds, and I will stay on the surface of an avalanche the moment it stops. It goes every day with the basic avalanche gear, shovel, a probe, and a transceiver. So in case of a slide, you can unbury somebody or somebody can dig you out. Well, I think it's really important to have a really good helmet. I always ride with my back protector. And my boots are kind of special made, so they're really good for climbing on rocks and on ice. Well, as soon as you're venturing out into the backcountry a bit further, you definitely need a split board as a snowboarder. So the board's split in half already in the hiking modus. You have the skins which go on the bottom, and when you want to go down, you just put these halves together, slide the binding over this way, and you have a snowboard to go down. It's really important to bring your crampons because when it gets icy, you'll need those, and of course, poles. These foldable poles are perfect because they fit into your backpack on the way down. And once I'm further out, I always bring a spare down jacket just for safety and put this in my backpack. One of the most beautiful things in freeriding is that you usually don't do it alone, you do it as a team. It's a safety issue out in the backcountry. Even if you have the smallest of avalanches, you can get buried. But if you have a friend with you who can dig you out, it's your safety insurance. The avalanche is the biggest danger. Everything else is quite predictable. But a slope that is safe on one day might not be safe the next day. The further you venture out into the backcountry, the steeper the slopes you ride. Around 55 degrees, that's pretty much the steepest you can ride. You have to beware of the dangers in the backcountry. The funny thing is that the satisfaction factor of one run kind of changes throughout the season. Early season, are you happy with just a couple of powder turns? And towards the end, you might do a 1,000 meter climb over a full day just to get one run down. Gonna wake our way up. If the camera's shaking a little bit, yeah, you know why. It might be the most satisfying run of the whole season. Adapting to local conditions and especially learning about the snowpack wherever you're riding is super crucial. So every day is a new challenge. That's great. To me, one of the amazing things in our sport, especially when it comes to competitive freeriding, is that you're setting the challenge yourself. You choose the line you want to take, and then it's up to you to be up to that challenge. I consider myself really lucky having been able to live my passion for a decade and a half. I'm looking forward very much, even when I get older, to do expeditions all over the world with my snowboard.